Well, my last video that I posted from last week about living in the forest and fires, I did that because of all the fires that are going on in Santa Rosa. Little did I know that we would be currently fighting a fire near my home right now. Some of you may have heard of the Bear Fire, which is basically Bear Creek or Bear Creek Canyon. It's down the hill from us, and all of our friends in the Las Cumbres area are under evacuation orders. Everybody was a mandatory evacuation, as well as other areas up near Skyline Boulevard. So they were fighting the fire all day yesterday with helicopters and the big bombers with the fire retardants, and that was wonderful. It was just amazing. I also heard that there were about 800 firefighters on the ground, bulldozers. They want to nip this in the bud. And I also heard, this is very discouraging, I've got a good friend who is a longtime mountain resident that said that this fire was started by a couple of tweakers that got into a fight that are way down the canyon. And apparently one of the tweakers started the other house on fire. So if you call it, it was arson, damn it. Arson. In these dry times and the seriousness of the situation, these drug-induced idiots did something that's affecting so many people and costing so much money. Fortunately, there haven't been any lives lost in this fire, but it's not out yet. I want to take a couple minutes to express my deep gratitude to all the people that are fighting this fire. That includes the pilots who are risking their lives, the people that are fighting it on the ground, the machinery operators, the equipment operators, as well as all the people that are volunteering to take in the evacuees. Thankfully, we are just outside the evacuation area, but we're concerned. We've been watching the fire every single day, and the winds have been with us. It could turn on a dime. It could turn just so quick. What happened in Santa Rosa was explosive, and that was because of the weather. The winds picked up, and it was just God, it was horrible. We experienced the same winds here, but there weren't any sparks. Thankfully, there weren't any sparks. So, on top of that, today we were expecting them to douse the fire, which is still burning, and I expected to hear the aircraft flying first thing in the morning. And there's no aircraft. There aren't any helicopters, there aren't any planes, there's nothing. And so we looked into it, and it turns out that some idiot is flying a drone. Not my drone, I know better. You absolutely do not fly drones in emergency areas and when there's aircraft that are fighting. It's a federal offense, and because somebody decided to go out and witness the fire with their drone, all aircraft was grounded. So it is almost noon now on the second big day of fighting, and it should be knocked out quickly with aircraft, but because some idiot decided to go up with a drone, all aircraft has been grounded and everything has been stopped from the air battle. So I'm hoping that the weather holds out. I'm hoping the ground crews can keep up. I'm hoping that this situation resolves itself quickly, but I don't know. You know, something else I got to say that I'm really thankful for is the community on the Facebook local page that keeps all of us informed. I mean, it's one thing to go to the news, but it's always kind of slow on the news. And you can go to websites and CAL FIRE updates. But really, the best news that I was able to get were the eyewitnesses, and I contributed a lot. Whenever I went out and looked at the fire, I put up a notice on the local mountain network, and it's a Facebook group, but everybody was given immediate updates as to what's going on, because there's an anxiety associated with fires, you know, especially if you feel that your home is threatened. You know, the people in Santa Rosa, I can only imagine going back to whole neighborhoods just wiped off the face of the earth. And, you know, the anxiety of sitting in a shelter somewhere, wondering if you've still got a home to go home to. I've been able to go home, and I've been watching my home. My wife is extremely nervous, And she was ready to cut and bail, and I had to say, you know, honey, it's still pretty far away. But just the word fire is enough to get everybody just so afraid, so afraid. So thank you also to all the contributors in the local Facebook group. And, you know, social media can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing too, but it can also be very, very helpful in keeping communities together. I love where I live, but there's a lot of fear associated with it. So keep fighting the fight, and thank you for everybody that's fighting for us.